Hello and welcome to another live with DrStem on this Tuesday. Ah, this topic that I want to talk about today is one of those topics that I probably should have talked about a long time ago. And this is about seeking counseling for mental health. It's one of those things that I'm really surprised that there are still a lot of people who are very, very skeptical about seeking counseling and what help that would be, to them if they sought counseling. So let's just, sit down and just at least take a deep dive on what the benefits are for mental health counseling or seeking counseling. So the first thing is the decision to say, you know what, I've done the best that I can, or I just want to see if I can get alternatives of dealing with this problem, situation. Maybe it's just thoughts, maybe it's just feeling that you're going through and saying, I just need to talk to somebody else. Many people will come to therapy after they have tried everything and now nothing is working. And then they decide, you know what? I might as well go and try, counseling because I've tried anything else. So regardless of what pushes you or what that fire within is for seeking counseling, take that. There's no right or wrong way. There's no, this is the time or this is not the time to do it. I applaud everyone that calls and says, listen, I want to do counseling and I've decided that this is the right time for me. I'm always embracing people at all levels of counseling. So here's the other reason why some people might come. Some people come kicking, fussing, and just so mad and angry because something or someone is forcing them to come into counseling. And that could be, yes, the young ones, the teenagers, or even a couple, wife, husband, come in because then the husband wants you to go to counseling or the wife wants to come to counseling. So there's always this, I don't want to come, he made me come, or she made me come, I don't want to come. I again applaud that. And you know what? Many a time, this is my experience now, many a time, people that come in, especially for couples, if they come in, let's say the wife is saying, he's the one that wanted me to come for counseling. I didn't want to come for counseling. He is also the reason why we are in here in for counseling. So let him talk because he's the problem that is there. Many a time, I end up seeing the wife be more receptive than even the husband who has initiated it, and vice versa. Whoever was the initiator and the other one was going, no, I don't think this is good for us, but they made me come. They end up being more receptive to it because, you know what? Counseling resolves some of the problems that people might be going through. It's almost like it's one of those things that you're taking the initiative to hopefully come together. If it's in a couple, come together and find solutions. So what we do as counselors is we are the people that are the go in betweens to just make sure that you're hearing each other. Because many a time, there's like any conversation or any communication, one is saying something and another one is hearing another thing, and then here comes the conflict in between. And what we do is we bridge the gap. We hear what the other one is saying, we hear what the other one is saying, and hopefully come, to also say what, I myself as a third person is hearing. And at most times it's helping the two of them understand from a different angle to say, oh, I didn't think of it that way, didn't hear him or her from that way. And then now the solutions will come. Solutions don't come from me, they come from you. You have the answers to what it is that you desire and want in your life. You have the answers to the problems that you have, that you're going through. And what we do in counseling is we give you that space to allow yourself to process, to think of, to actually implement whatever it is that's on your heart after we talk about it and, process it together. So at this time, I'm telling you, if you're one of those people that has ever said, I don't know if counseling can help me, because of what people experienced during COVID and what people continue to experience through COVID, COVID was really, really bad on our mental health. We might have survived it and, not lose our lives, but mentally, it really has taken a toll. I mean, from the head of the household to the children, mentally, COVID took a toll. It changed the way that we think, it changed the way that we feel, and many people never experienced depression as a sense, anxiety in a sense, until COVID came and just triggered everything out of, us, and we started getting scared. We started not sleeping well. We started not eating well. We started realizing that, there are things that I didn't like in this relationship, and now they're really bothering me. There are things that I didn't like in my life, and now this is really bothering me. And it is a blessing in disguise and also a curse on the other end. There are things that were working and we didn't have problems with it and everything was fine. And then now things are beginning to surface and people are starting to express themselves and people are starting to feel deep, deep depression and deep, deep sadness of dealing with, loved ones that they've lost or situations that happen in life. All of a sudden, all those things are coming to surface now. So we have a high rate of people that are struggling mentally, with mental health, with decision making, with choices making, with just not being happy, with just not feeling good. This is now a season where we're having a high rate of that. And as a result, I, also am saddened to know that there's also a shortage of therapists around that can help with those sort of reasons. There's help, but, certainly we have, more therapists now that are talking about having a waiting list, on that. So I'm here to say to you, if you are in those situations where, you know what, I want to seek help, but there's nobody that, is available, don't lose hope, because we are also in a great place now where as therapists, we used to be confined to just working with the people that are in our area that we are licensed in or, certified with the insurances in. And now there are more options with therapists that they can work with people in different, places, areas because of telephonic, telehealth that is there. So do not lose hope. To continue to really seek out therapists. And if you call a therapist and the therapist says, you know what, I don't have any openings, ask them if they have resources, recommendations, referrals, because most of the time what we do is we also have other colleagues that will say, I'm taking people, but people don't contact them. So if you contact me, I'm going to give you the list of the people that are taking people that you can talk to and also reach out to. And my hope is that those therapists also have a list of referrals that they can give, other people. We're also starting to do more groups, group therapy, because then we are finding out that, many people have the same problem. So in groups or in trainings or workshops, people can relate with each other, but learn one or two coping skills, one or two ideas of dealing with the problem. So never shy away from those kind of things as well, because you can learn a lot in a group setting, or if a therapist is providing a coaching session or a training session, depending on the topics that they're talking about. If it resonates with what's going on with you, be open to those kind of things, because then one little idea, one little knowledge of something that you hear can help you just like that come up with a resolution or an idea of what's going on. If you're going through, when we're talking about counseling is just not about people that are going through depression, anxiety, post-traumatic disorder. It's just regular stress, regular indecision, regular just like, what, I don't know, I'm just not myself these days. And I'm just not myself is a trigger to say, yes, something might be going on. So in therapy, what we do is we try now to dig deep and help you to find a resolution as to what is it that is triggering those kind of emotions? What is it that is going on in your life? Or maybe that went on in your life and you probably couldn't even fathom that being the reason for you not feeling good, for you not being in a right space or good space. So it's very rewarding, brave of someone to initiate that first step and take it in. As a mental health professional, life and career coach, I can tell you that in my 20 plus years that I've done this here, I have not seen so many men reaching out as they are now, which makes me so happy that the men are actually finally also taking care of themselves mentally and not saying it makes me weak, it makes me not be a man. No. It makes you be a man if you realize that, you know what, let me talk to somebody about these things. I don't have to make all the decisions, neither do I have to always be right. And sometimes, hey, I stand to be corrected. And that has really helped a lot of our men get back to the grounding of actually doing what it is that they can do, because now they're able to say, you know what, I'm man enough to come and talk to someone. We also had back in the days, I remember men that would say, do you know of another man that can talk to me? Because I would rather talk to a man. It's still possible. We still have, men that you can talk to in the therapy world. There are many men that are in this profession, right now. And again, they're getting bombarded with men that are coming in, which is a great thing for men to really seek, therapy. And yes, I believe that there are certain things that men to men, you can talk about him, but don't shut yourself out. If there are other things that you can talk to a woman, please open yourself out to it, because one or two things, again, might come from a professional's perspective. Whether we're men or women, we have professional perspectives and insights that we can share with you that have got nothing to do with us being female or male. So be open to those kind of, interactions, with people, with professionals that are in the field. It's interesting because then also when it comes to therapy, I think, it's because now I'm seasoned. I've done this for so many years. I'm a seasoned therapist now. And I do understand, because back in the days, I didn't understand people that would come in and, you have a few sessions with them and they say, well, you're not a man, or you're not, an adult woman, or you're not young enough, or you are too young to understand this, or you're not a mother, or you're not a wife, or you are, all these things, right? And they didn't understand, or neither did I understand, also where they're coming from. That sometimes if you're just open to hearing each other, I now understand that, you know what, yes, you have a preference. And yes, you can rule, somebody out based on gender, expertise, experience, or whatever their social situation is. It's your prerogative. It's your choice, because at the end of the day, as mental health professionals, we care more about your healing and finding your own, path again than, being chosen as the therapist. We want you to be able to find that healing. We want you to be able to find that cure that will lead you into that space where you can live your best life. I did a TED Talk. I hope you've listened to it. If you haven't, I am on YouTube with that TED Talk. It says, YOHO, YOHO. You only have one life. So live it or lose it. And that's where we're coming from as mental health professionals, that we want you to have the best life. We want you to have the resolutions. We want you to be healthy, physically, spiritually, mindful, and everything connect. We want you to be able to connect the dots of what is really happening with me. Why is this happening? And why did this happen? And so you can connect the dots. And the other thing that I like about counseling is we also help, people to finally take back their own power to make the decisions. Because at the end of the day, we just said in last week's, live, at the end of the day, your life is your choice. It's about what it is that you choose to do. It's about what it is that you decide that your life is going to be about, and what you're going to do with your life. At the end of the day, everything around you, the buck stops with you. You get to make that decision. So seeking counseling allows you to get back into that space of making those right decisions that are good for you, that are good for your career, that are good for your life, that are good for your business, that are good overall. It gives you that confidence to really be in that space again, to see what choices that you have, to see what options that you have. So whether you hire, one that is just a mental health professional, or a person like myself, who's not only a mental health professional, but, also a life career business coach, you get the best of all worlds in that, you get to connect everything and literally now find the clarity of, okay, what do I want to do with this one life that I have? Where do I want to go with this one life that I have? So I want to encourage anyone who has never been in therapy, if you've never been in counseling before, because that's all we're talking about today, right? Normalizing counseling. If you've never been there, to just pick up your phone and say to a therapist, I want to make an appointment. And they say, what is going on? And you say, you know what? It's literally what I want to figure out. I just want to talk to a therapist, get the experience of talking about my life. So it could be one of those where you really look back and see the strength in the things that you have done. That requires therapy as well, for you to just take a tally of what has been going on. And as you talk, many people that come in and say, I just want to do that. Never surprised to see them come back again and make more appointments, because things are beginning to open up and they're beginning to see, oh, you know what about if I talk about this? What if I, we explore this? And what if I do this here? And it gets to be so exciting because now you're working on you. This is self-time, me time that you're giving to yourself as that. Those of you that are working and you have a job, many employers have what we call Employee Assistance Program, EAP. So it might be one of those where you say, well, I want to go to therapy, but I don't have the money to do it. And, I don't even have the copay to do that. If you have a job, please go to your human resource department, call them, or even talk to them, talk to your managers. But unfortunately, some managers and people that are in leadership have no clue that there's an EAP or what it is or what the number is. Don't blame them, because then there's so much to know. So some of them don't know, but start with them, ask a manager. And if you're a manager listening to this, please find out what your EAP number is, and do distribute that number to your employees and say, hey, did you know that we have this benefit that is a free benefit to all the employees? It gives you from 3 free sessions. I've seen companies that have 25 free sessions that they give their employees to talk to a mental health professional like myself for free, without having to pay anything. So do reach out and get that number, call that 1-800 number, ask them for names. Usually I say to people, ask for 3 names of 3 therapists that you can call that take that EAP, or ask them to just connect you, because some EAPs are the ones that call the therapist themselves and make an appointment for you. Either way, allow them to do that for you. And remember, those 3 to 25 sessions, you get, a bunch of sessions per problem. What do I mean? If your company gives 10 sessions, right, for EAP, it's per problem. So if you call and you're going through stress, you get 10 sessions. After your 10 sessions, you call back again. When you're going through problems with your teenage daughter, you get 10 sessions. The good thing about it is you get 10 sessions and you say, I also want my daughter to have their own therapist. They get 10 sessions. And then you say, and I also want to do couples therapy because me and my husband don't even see you get 10 sessions for your couples therapy. You see how that works? 10 sessions for you as the wife, 10 sessions for you as a couple, and 10 sessions for each of your children that you have in there. So that's a benefit that many people have not been tapping into, because we're so busy working, and then we're so busy going at home and taking that work back at home. And then people complain about the companies. They give us so much work, and you know what? They don't care about us because then we're slaving. And I'm thinking, well, no, because they pay billions of dollars to put this program, employee assistance program, so that any of those complaints, the stress that you might be going through at home, at work, differences with your managers, differences with the people that you manage and supervise, talk to a mental health professional that is qualified and is an employee assistant program that works with management, works with employees, works with families to deal with family problems at home. That's why they pay us, because then we are well versed in all areas where we can talk about the workspace, the management space, we can talk about the team space. And then, you know, when you come in and we're talking about home, we can switch it around and also help you deal with situations at home, whether you're single, married, in a relationship, or it's complex, you know, whatever it is that your social situation is, we can also deal with that. But the companies pay, and you don't have to pay because you've already paid by working for them. And this is their way of saying, thank you for working with us. And we know we are paying, and we know we are a company that gives you a lot. And we know we are, you know, I mean, a company that is fast paced, but here's what you can do. Talk to those professionals that can help you with that. So this is my hope for you, that if you have that kind of benefits, tap into it. If you're a nurse in hospitals, doctors, that is definitely a definite yes in there. But many of the organizations have an employee assistance program that you can tap into, and, you know, they pay for your sessions. There are also therapists that have what we call fee for service. So if you see a $350 an hour, look down in their profile to see if it says fee for service. If it says fee for service there, it means they're flexible with their pricing, that you can be seen for less than that $350, which was just an example of what they put in there. So do not be discouraged if you don't, you know, if you see a big number there, look for that fee for service. So the website that I know I am, you know, profiled in is psychologytoday.com, but there are many other, you know, websites that you can go into and just look for therapists in your area. In the United States, you can put the zip code in there, and, you know, you'll be able to see a whole list of therapists that come, you know, that will be profiled there that you can choose from. And in other countries, you certainly can go to the website for your health insurance. Organizations might even have, you know, the link to the mental health, you know, programs that they are linked with for your organization. Do go there, and people are very helpful. When you make that phone call, don't wait until it's an emergency. Don't wait until, you know, you're really depleted, depressed, or anxious, or problems are happening. Go now and talk to someone in preparation, you know, of those days when, you know, things are falling apart. Go now and deal with those things that maybe were not resolved and still keep creeping up. When you think you're feeling okay or doing okay, go now and talk to somebody about it. So I hope this live has been helpful for you this week. I just had this, you know, inclination that I needed to clarify that for you as far as mental health, because we are having a high rate of people struggling with depression, sadness, anger, frustration. And as you can see in the news, which is said, we're having a lot of people that are really like snapping and, you know, hurting other people, killing other people, and you know, causing unnecessary grief and unnecessary losses for the families that are least expecting it. So before that happens, let's all seek the treatment that we need. Let's all, you know, also get the help, you know, that we need. So lastly, just, you know, for good laughs, I had somebody who was asking me about a couple of weeks ago, but this has been, you know, done over the 20 years. People ask me, so do you also get to see a therapist? And I'm glad to say yes, yes, yes. Recognize, I say it 3 times. Why? Because I have a life as well. And I am just as human as you are. And I believe that if I can deal with my own problems and talk to somebody about it and resolve what is going on in my life, then I can show up every day for those people that are also relying on me to guide them and help them, and, you know, help them be strong enough to make those decisions that they make in life. I know that I have to take care of myself first. I have to make sure that I also am learning from someone. So this is very interesting, because then we have therapists that are also experienced in working with other therapists. I also work with other therapists to support them, in their endeavors in life as well. But then I also have seasoned therapists that work with me so that I can, show up better when I, do my work. So the answer is yes, yes, yes. And we provide the service that we provide because we know that it works. It works for me, and I know that it will work for somebody else when I present myself as a healed person, as a person that also is going through the same process. So I do understand and also can be helpful when I know I'm receiving the same help. So until next time, can you see I'm passionate about this? I talked for so long today. So until next week, let's get back again and talk about more about life. These lives are here to empower you, inspire you, encourage you. And as I say, I'm always looking for guests. If you're one that has information that is encouraging, empowering, inspiring, maybe work that you're doing, a book that you have written that could be helpful to somebody else, this is the platform for you. Let me know. Let's talk about it so people can know what it is that you're doing and also seek the assistance that you provide. Until next week, this is DrStem. Be encouraged.